When you close your eyes at night, your body doesn't shut down. It begins one of the most powerful healing processes known to science. Deep inside your cells, repair and renewal begin. And what if I told you that a handful of specific dried fruits could supercharge that process, helping your brain and eyes rebuild themselves while you sleep? Let's start with the brain. Every thought, memory, and emotion you experience depends on billions of tiny connections, neurons communicating through intricate electrical signals. During sleep, those neurons are cleaned, reset, and recharged. Certain nutrients found in dried fruits, especially walnuts, almonds, and dried blueberries, feed this very process. They provide omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin E, and polyphenols that protect neurons from oxidative stress, the very damage that causes brain fog, memory decline, and even neurodegenerative disease. Now think about the eyes. They are actually an extension of your brain, made up of delicate nerve tissue that's incredibly sensitive to light and oxygen. While you sleep, your eyes also go through a repair cycle. Dried apricots, figs, and raisins are rich in beta-carotene, lutein, and zeaxanthin, powerful plant compounds that rebuild the retina's protective layers and strengthen blood vessels supplying the optic nerve. These compounds don't just prevent damage, they actively support regeneration, helping your vision stay clear, sharp, and focused. What makes this remarkable is how these nutrients interact with your body's natural rhythms. Melatonin, your sleep hormone, doesn't just make you drowsy, it's also a potent antioxidant. When you eat foods rich in polyphenols like dried cherries or prunes, they amplify melatonin's effects. Together, they reduce inflammation in your brain, enhance the flow of oxygen to your neurons, and improve the brain's ability to form new connections overnight. There's another layer to this story, the gut-brain connection. While you sleep, your gut bacteria are busy producing metabolites that communicate directly with your brain. Dried fruits provide the prebiotic fibers these bacteria thrive on. As they digest that fiber, they release compounds that help your brain regulate mood, memory, and learning. You're literally feeding your brain from the inside out, even while you're dreaming. So imagine this: you end your evening with a small handful of dried fruits. Just enough to nourish, not overwhelm. As you drift into deep sleep, the compounds inside those fruits begin their silent work. They travel through your bloodstream, cross the blood-brain barrier, and enter the cells that shape how you think, feel, and see. By the time morning arrives, the invisible repair work has already begun. Neural pathways are cleaner, your eyes are less strained, and your body is better equipped for another day of focus, clarity, and vision. When we talk about healing, most people think about medications, surgeries, or treatments that happen in hospitals. But the truth is, some of the most extraordinary healing doesn't happen in a clinic. It happens quietly while you sleep. During the hours of deep rest, your body performs maintenance that no doctor can prescribe. Your cells communicate, damaged DNA gets repaired, and toxins that accumulate in your brain during the day are flushed away. This is not just a poetic image, it's biology. And what's fascinating is that the nutrients you consume before sleep can either support this invisible orchestra or disrupt it. Among all the natural options, dried fruits stand out as small but mighty repair tools, especially for the brain and eyes. Let's begin with what actually happens in the brain at night. During the day, your brain burns through an enormous amount of energy to keep you alert, focused, and thinking clearly. This constant activity leaves behind waste products like beta amyloid, the same protein that can build up in the brains of people with Alzheimer's disease. When you go to sleep, your brain activates what scientists call the glymphatic system, a cleanup network that flushes out toxins through cerebrospinal fluid. For this system to work efficiently, your brain cells need strong, flexible membranes and efficient energy production. That's where dried fruits come in. Walnuts, for instance, are one of nature's most concentrated sources of alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3 fat. This compound becomes part of your neuron membranes, making them more responsive and better at sending signals. When you eat a small handful of walnuts before bed, you're not just giving your brain fuel, you're giving it the building blocks it needs to regenerate while you sleep. Almonds, on the other hand, provide magnesium and vitamin E. Magnesium helps calm overactive neurons and promotes relaxation, making it easier to fall into the deep, restorative stages of sleep where brain repair peaks. Vitamin E acts as an antioxidant, protecting those same neurons from free radicals produced during energy metabolism. Dried blueberries are another remarkable ally. They contain anthocyanins, deep purple pigments that improve communication between brain cells and reduce inflammation. In animal studies, these compounds have been shown to enhance memory and even promote the birth of new neurons in the hippocampus, the brain's memory center. Think about that for a moment while you sleep. The very foods you eat can influence the creation of new brain cells. That's regeneration at its most fundamental level. And now shift your focus to the eyes. They're often described as windows to the soul, but biologically, they're windows to the brain. The retina, located at the back of your eye, is neural tissue. It's brain matter that migrated outward during development. It's incredibly sensitive and requires constant repair. Every second, light strikes your retina and triggers chemical reactions that allow you to see. Over time, this process creates oxidative stress, and without proper nutrients, that stress can damage the delicate photoreceptor cells responsible for vision. Dried apricots are loaded with beta-carotene, which the body converts into vitamin A. This vitamin is crucial for maintaining the retina and the cornea. Without it, the eyes become dry, night vision weakens, and eventually the light-sensing cells can deteriorate. But when you supply the body with natural sources like dried apricots, you're giving your eyes what they need to renew themselves while you rest. Dried figs and raisins also contribute to this nightly restoration. They contain polyphenols and trace minerals like zinc and copper that support the enzymes responsible for tissue repair and protect the blood vessels supplying the retina. Lutein and zeaxanthin, two carotenoids found in dried goji berries and golden raisins, are particularly powerful. They accumulate in the macula, the central part of the retina responsible for sharp vision, and act as a natural shield against harmful blue light. Many of us spend hours looking at screens which emit that very wavelength of light. These carotenoids absorb blue light before it can cause oxidative damage, and their levels can increase in your eye tissue after regular consumption of lutein-rich foods. So even while you sleep, your eyes are better protected from the digital strain of your waking hours. One of the most overlooked benefits of dried fruits is how they interact with melatonin, your body's sleep hormone. Melatonin doesn't only regulate when you fall asleep, it also acts as a powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory molecule. Dried cherries and prunes contain natural melatonin and compounds that support its synthesis. When you consume these fruits in the evening, you can increase your body's melatonin levels naturally, helping you fall asleep faster and enter the deep stages of sleep sooner. That's when the brain's cleaning and repair systems are most active. So in a very real sense, these fruits don't just nourish, they guide your body into a state where healing becomes more efficient. Another fascinating layer is how these foods influence blood flow. Your brain and eyes depend on a constant, stable supply of oxygen and nutrients. If the small blood vessels that feed these organs become stiff or inflamed, that supply gets disrupted. The result can be headaches, cognitive fatigue, or blurred vision. Dried fruits like raisins are rich in natural nitrates and potassium, which help keep blood vessels flexible and improve circulation. This means that as you sleep, oxygen delivery to your brain cells remains steady, allowing them to perform their nightly maintenance without interruption. But there's more happening beneath the surface, something that scientists are only beginning to fully understand. Inside your gut, trillions of bacteria are busy digesting the foods you eat and turning them into metabolites that affect your brain and eyes. This gut-brain axis is one of the most powerful communication systems in the body. Dried fruits, with their natural fiber, serve as prebiotics, food for beneficial gut bacteria. When these microbes ferment the fibers in dried fruits, they release short-chain fatty acids that help regulate inflammation and strengthen the blood-brain barrier, the protective shield that keeps toxins out of your brain. During sleep, your gut doesn't rest. It synchronizes with your brain. The beneficial bacteria you've nourished begin producing neurotransmitters like serotonin and GABA, which help calm the nervous system. That's why people who eat fiber-rich plant-based foods often report better sleep quality and clearer thinking. It's not just coincidence, it's biochemical communication in action. By the time you wake up, your brain chemistry has literally been influenced by what your gut did overnight, all because you fed it the right kind of food earlier in the evening. It's also important to understand timing. Eating large, heavy meals before bed can interfere with sleep because your body is focused on digestion instead of repair. but a small serving, just a handful, of dried fruits about 1 or 2 hours before bedtime can be incredibly effective. It provides nutrients without overloading the digestive system. The natural sugars in dried fruits also help transport amino acids like tryptophan into the brain, where they're converted into serotonin and later melatonin. It's a natural, elegant sequence that prepares your mind and body for rest and restoration. When you combine different dried fruits, you create a synergistic effect. For example, pairing walnuts with dried blueberries and figs brings together healthy fats, antioxidants, and minerals in one compact snack. The fats help absorb the fat-soluble vitamins from the fruits, while the antioxidants neutralize free radicals generated during metabolism. Similarly, mixing dried apricots with almonds provides a balance of vitamin A and vitamin E, both crucial for eye health and tissue repair. Science continues to uncover the depth of how these foods work. Researchers studying polyphenols have found that certain compounds in raisins and prunes can even influence gene expression related to longevity and cellular defense. That means these nutrients don't just repair damage. They can actually activate the body's own repair genes, enhancing the mechanisms that keep cells young and functional. It's like turning on the switches that your body already has built in for renewal, but often forgets to use because of poor nutrition or stress. And it's not just about avoiding disease, it's about enhancing performance. People who support their sleep with nutrient-rich foods often wake up with sharper focus, improved mood, and better decision-making. That's because the brain consolidates memories and clears emotional residues while you sleep. If the neurons are well nourished and protected from inflammation, they communicate more efficiently the next day. That can translate into quicker learning, better creativity, and even greater emotional resilience. The eyes benefit in a similar way. When the tissues are replenished with antioxidants overnight, you're less likely to experience morning dryness or fatigue. Your visual system starts the day already refreshed, with improved circulation and stronger retinal integrity. Over time, this can mean sharper vision and reduced risk of age-related eye decline. It's not a miracle, it's the natural rhythm of repair, supported by the right foods. Now, let's talk about something that most people don't realize: your body is programmed to heal itself, but it needs the right environment. Sleep provides the time, and nutrients provide the tools. Dried fruits deliver those tools in a concentrated, natural form. They're the blueprint materials your body uses to rebuild neurons, repair DNA, and balance hormones. Each bite contains thousands of bioactive compounds, vitamins, minerals, flavonoids, and enzymes that interact with your cells in ways no supplement can fully replicate. When you choose natural dried fruits over processed snacks, you're also avoiding the chemicals and preservatives that can burden your liver and disrupt sleep hormones. Artificial sugars and additives can cause blood sugar spikes, which interfere with melatonin production. But the natural sugars in dried fruits are balanced with fiber, slowing down absorption and keeping your blood sugar steady. This stable energy curve is crucial for maintaining hormonal balance during sleep. There's also something deeply human about the act of eating dried fruits. For centuries, they've been part of traditional diets across cultures, from Mediterranean figs and dates to Asian goji berries and Indian raisins. Ancient healers didn't have microscopes or molecular biology, but they understood something intuitive. Foods that endure, those that retain vitality even after drying, carry concentrated life energy. Modern science now confirms that they also carry concentrated nutrients that sustain biological repair. Every night, your body faces two possibilities: degeneration or regeneration. The difference between them often depends on what you've given it to work with. Dried fruits offer an accessible, delicious way to tip that balance toward regeneration. They support your brain's cleaning systems, fuel the eye's renewal process, enhance sleep quality, and nurture the gut bacteria that coordinate all these systems together. Even the smallest rituals can make a difference. Imagine sitting quietly before bed, away from screens, and eating a few pieces of dried apricot, a couple of almonds, and a walnut or two. As you chew, you release natural enzymes in your saliva that begin the digestion process. Within an hour, nutrients start circulating through your bloodstream. By the time you drift into sleep, those compounds are already at work, entering your brain cells, supporting your retinas, and feeding your beneficial gut bacteria. By morning, the invisible repair that took place during the night becomes visible in how you feel: more focused, more present, more alive. It's not just rest, it's restoration at the cellular level. The brain feels clearer, thoughts flow more easily, and the world appears a little sharper, both literally through your eyes and metaphorically through your mind. What we often forget is that health isn't something we chase during the day. It's something we nurture in the quiet hours of the night. The choices we make before we sleep echo through every system in our body. Dried fruits, humble as they seem, are among the most powerful tools you can give your body for that nightly renewal. They carry the nutrients of sunlight, soil, and time, transformed into forms that your cells recognize and use to heal. And so, every night, as you close your eyes and your mind begins to drift, remember that your body isn't idle. It's working, rebuilding, repairing, and regenerating. And the food you've chosen, those small pieces of concentrated nature, are the quiet partners in that extraordinary process of repair that keeps your brain sharp and your eyes bright, one night at a time. When the night settles and the body begins to relax, something extraordinary happens inside you, something far beyond mere rest. As you lie in darkness, your cells awaken to a rhythm of renewal. Your heartbeat slows, your breathing deepens, and every system begins communicating in perfect harmony. The brain, which has been processing thoughts, decisions, and emotions all day, finally turns inward. It begins to repair. The eyes, which have been exposed to light, screens, and strain, begin to rejuvenate. And as silent as all of this feels, the process depends deeply on the nutrients circulating through your blood. That is where dried fruits play an almost magical role, feeding the invisible mechanics of night healing that allow your mind and vision to stay strong. Consider what your brain goes through every day. From the moment you wake up, neurons are firing millions of times per second. Every movement, every choice, every feeling burns through energy and leaves behind waste materials like reactive oxygen species, tiny molecules that can damage brain tissue over time. The body's only chance to truly clean up that mess is during sleep, and the molecules that power this cleanup, antioxidants, amino acids, and essential fats, come from what you've eaten. Dried fruits, despite their small size, are packed with precisely those molecules. When you eat walnuts, you're giving your brain something extraordinary: natural omega-3 fatty acids. These are not just nutrients, they're structural materials for the brain itself. Neurons are wrapped in membranes made of fat, and omega-3s keep those membranes flexible, allowing signals to travel smoothly. During deep sleep, your brain takes these fats and integrates them into damaged cells, strengthening the very circuits that control memory, focus, and emotion. A few walnuts in the evening can quietly reshape how your brain functions the next day, making it sharper, calmer, and more resilient. Then there's vitamin E, abundant in almonds and hazelnuts. It acts as a shield against oxidative stress, preserving the delicate structures of your neurons. Each night, as the glymphatic system flushes toxins from your brain, vitamin E ensures that the neurons themselves aren't harmed in the process. That's one of the reasons consistent intake of vitamin E rich foods is linked to lower risk of cognitive decline. It's not about quick results. It's about giving your brain steady protection every night of your life. Dried berries, especially blueberries and blackcurrants, carry deep pigments called anthocyanins. These compounds have been shown to strengthen neuron communication and increase the release of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF. A BDNF acts like a fertilizer for your neurons. It helps them grow new branches, form stronger connections, and even generate new cells. Imagine your brain as a vast forest of neurons. BDNF is the rain that allows new growth to flourish after a long, stressful day. During sleep, when the brain consolidates memories and prunes away unnecessary connections, anthocyanins help maintain that delicate balance between clearing out and building up. Now think about the eyes, the organs that convert light into meaning. The retina, the thin layer at the back of your eye, is composed of specialized cells called photoreceptors. These cells depend on nutrients that must be replenished daily. Each time you're exposed to bright light or stare at a screen, photoreceptors use up vitamin A to regenerate a molecule called rhodopsin, which allows you to see in dim light. Without enough vitamin A, rhodopsin levels drop and night vision begins to suffer. Dried apricots and dried mangoes are rich in beta-carotene, the precursor to vitamin A. When you consume them, your liver converts that carotene into vitamin A and stores it for release during the night, when your eyes enter their natural repair phase. Figs and raisins, with their complex mix of minerals like iron, copper, and zinc, help maintain the tiny blood vessels that feed the eyes. The retina is one of the most metabolically active tissues in the body, and it depends on a steady supply of oxygen. Iron supports the production of hemoglobin, ensuring that your blood can carry that oxygen efficiently, while copper and zinc support enzymes that rebuild retinal tissue. If even one of these minerals is missing, repair slows down. Dried fruits deliver them in harmony, balanced, natural, and easy for your body to use. Goji berries add another layer of defense. Long used in traditional medicine, they contain zeaxanthin and lutein, carotenoids that form a natural filter against blue light. These pigments accumulate in the macula, the area of the retina responsible for detailed vision. During sleep, your eyes redistribute these compounds, repairing the microscopic wear caused by digital glare and UV exposure. Eating a small portion of goji berries before bed is like giving your eyes protective armor for the next day. The synergy of these nutrients doesn't end with the eyes or brain. They work through systems connected by chemistry and timing. The body's circadian rhythm, the 24-hour internal clock, coordinates hormone release, metabolism, and cellular repair. Dried fruits support that rhythm because of their natural sugars and phytonutrients. For instance, the gentle sweetness of dried cherries and prunes helps signal the release of insulin, which in turn allows tryptophan, an amino acid, to cross the blood-brain barrier. Once inside the brain, tryptophan transforms into serotonin and later into melatonin, the hormone that induces sleep. This sequence not only helps you fall asleep more easily, but ensures that sleep is deep and continuous, allowing the repair systems of the brain and eyes to work without interruption. As melatonin rises, something else remarkable happens. It begins acting as an antioxidant in its own right. It neutralizes free radicals in the brain, supports mitochondrial function, and even helps protect DNA from oxidative damage. Dried fruits that naturally boost melatonin, like cherries, amplify this effect. Your body doesn't just rest, it uses the night to cleanse, balance, and rebuild. At the same time, a blood circulation plays a critical role in distributing these nutrients to where they're needed most. The flexibility of your blood vessels determines how efficiently oxygen and micronutrients reach your brain and eyes. Potassium, found in abundance in dried bananas, apricots, and raisins, helps maintain that flexibility by balancing sodium and relaxing vessel walls. This is why people who consume potassium-rich foods tend to have better vascular health and, as a result, better cognitive function. Dates, often seen as nature's candy, provide natural nitrates and polyphenols that further enhance blood flow. During sleep, this improved circulation ensures that your brain's waste removal system, the glymphatic network, has the fluid dynamics it needs to flush out debris effectively. It's like cleaning the pipes of a house. If the pressure and flow are steady, the cleansing process is more efficient. So, while you dream, your brain's microscopic plumbing is being supported by the nutrients you provided earlier. The gut also joins in this intricate symphony of repair. Inside your intestines, trillions of bacteria are engaged in quiet collaboration with your body. They break down the fibers in dried fruits, producing short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, acetate, and propionate. These molecules have far-reaching effects. They reduce inflammation, strengthen the gut barrier, and even signal the brain to adjust hormone levels. Butyrate, for example, helps calm microglial cells, the immune guardians of the brain. When these cells are overactive, they cause inflammation that can impair cognition. But when you feed your gut the right fibers, the resulting butyrate keeps those microglia in check, creating a peaceful environment for neural repair. This gut-brain conversation continues through the night. The serotonin produced in your gut influences melatonin production in your brain, aligning digestion, mood, and sleep. It's an elegant partnership. As your brain dreams, your gut ensures that energy is balanced, inflammation is reduced, and nutrients are absorbed in time for morning renewal. Modern life often disrupts these natural cycles. Late-night snacks filled with processed sugar or caffeine can confuse the body's timing. Artificial light can suppress melatonin release, cutting short the very stages of sleep when the most profound healing occurs. But something as simple as ending the evening with a few pieces of dried fruit can realign your rhythm. The body recognizes natural foods differently. It knows what to do with them because evolution designed us that way. Dried fruits also contain trace phytonutrients that modern science is only beginning to understand. For example, polyphenols in prunes and raisins activate pathways related to sirtuins, proteins associated with longevity and cellular defense. These same pathways are triggered by fasting and exercise, both known to extend healthy lifespan. That means a handful of dried fruit before bed doesn't just support nightly repair. It may also signal your body to engage its long-term maintenance systems. What makes these foods so unique is how concentrated they are. A fresh apricot or fig contains mostly water. When dried, all that remains is the dense essence of nutrients. That's why a small portion carries so much power. The natural dehydration process preserves not only vitamins and minerals, but also flavonoids and plant enzymes that continue to act within your body long after digestion. It's like capturing sunlight, soil, and time in one bite. Throughout the night, your cells are working like skilled craftsmen using the materials you've provided. DNA strands damaged by oxidative stress are carefully repaired by enzymes that depend on minerals like zinc and manganese, both of which are abundant in dried fruits. Mitochondria, the energy centers of cells, use antioxidants from polyphenols to neutralize free radicals generated during energy production. Meanwhile, proteins damaged by the day's stress are dismantled and replaced with new, functional versions. These are microscopic miracles happening every second you sleep. By morning, the effects are tangible. The clarity you feel when you wake up after a nourishing evening isn't coincidence. It's chemistry. The brain operates with cleaner pathways, the eyes perceive light with greater precision, and the gut continues to support balanced energy. This feeling of renewal isn't abstract, it's the physical evidence of the night's molecular repairs. When you make this ritual a consistent habit, the benefits compound. The protective pigments in your eyes increase, the density of your brain's gray matter stabilizes, and inflammation across your body declines. Over weeks and months, this small nightly act can change how you age. Slowly, gently, but unmistakably. You're no longer just eating for energy, you're eating for regeneration. The deeper science of this process reveals something beautiful. Our bodies were designed for self-restoration, but they rely on cooperation from the environment, light, rest, and nourishment. Dried fruits bridge that connection perfectly because they are nature's preserved energy, concentrated life forms waiting to be reactivated inside us. They don't overpower the body with artificial stimulation. They whisper to it, reminding it how to heal. Even the sensory experience of eating dried fruits before bed supports relaxation. The sweetness tells your brain that energy is abundant, reducing stress hormones like cortisol. The chewy texture encourages slow eating, which activates parasympathetic pathways, your rest and digest mode. As digestion begins, the body interprets this calm rhythm as safety, allowing sleep hormones to rise naturally. It's a holistic conversation between taste, touch, and biochemistry. So while science can name the compounds, anthocyanins, carotenoids, polyphenols, the truth is simpler. Dried fruits are nature's coded language for restoration. They speak directly to your biology in ways that no pill or supplement can mimic. Their power lies not only in the nutrients they provide, but in the harmony they create among the body's systems: brain, eyes, gut, and blood, each supporting the other, especially in the quiet hours of the night. In that darkness, as your conscious mind fades and your body begins its nocturnal work, these nutrients flow like currents of light beneath the surface. They enter your cells, reinforce your structures, and ensure that every new day begins not with depletion, but with renewal. The brain hums quietly, refreshed, the eyes open to the morning light with gratitude, and deep inside, the invisible machinery of life continues its ceaseless rhythm of healing and growth, all silently powered by the humble strength of what you chose to eat before you slept.